Welcome, everybody, to the Small Account Challenge. Let's get started.
Yeah. Welcome to the lab. We're talking about that small account challenge, 5 large in the pocket, and a world of data. Small account challenge. Stay cool, small account challenge, no fools. Small account challenge, watch it grow. Small account challenge, keep it slow.
Welcome, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well today on the Small Account Challenge land. Markets are in turmoil, down 30 as we speak, I believe. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for the Small Account Challenge. So, straight away, we're going to say, people have been asking for it. Where are the videos? I want to see the video of last week. I want to see what you guys are doing. I don't blame you. We've been working hard over here, and we've come up with a playlist of videos. How do you access that? Go to optionomega.com/small account challenge. Go down here, view the research, and we will send you an email. All of the videos, strategy overview. We did a deep dive with Romeo from Trade Blocks, showing how Trade Blocks works and how a portfolio works together. So I'll remind people towards the end of that, but optionomega.com/small account challenge. So this is what we're going to do. This is the kind of agenda for today. We're going to look at the trades that we've placed, look at the trades that have closed, talk about that. We're going to pump ourselves up a little bit. And then we are going to look at one small change that we're going to do to one of the trades. And we're going to talk about why. So as always, put it in the chat and absolutely just like destroy that like and subscribe button, like crush that like and subscribe button, because we want to get this content out to the masses. If you know Option Omega and you've used it for any length of time and have found it valuable, we'd love to get the word out. So let's jump in to the thing. Now you might think to yourself real quick, he just lit a large cigar, but now he's got this little one. I'm gonna give you guys a pro tip real quick when you're smoking cigars. If you know that you're gonna be talking for a minute and you're gonna be, while you're talking, the cigar is gonna run out, go ahead and light that second cigar. Get that second cigar lit. Get it ready to roll. So you'll see me back and forth switching. It's not a big deal. Done it before. It's not my first rodeo. Have I had 3 before? Maybe. Maybe I have. So here we go. Let's dive in. We have 3 trades currently open. We have the SPY 923 double calendar. We opened it last Wednesday. It's been sitting just pretty. Nothing's really happened. We're just sitting there. We have the Apple 714 double calendar. Just sitting pretty. Up 8%. It's fine. It just opened. That's what it does. And then the IWM 24 double calendar is currently up 21.5%. We have closed today. Our Tesla end-of-day bullish breakout was open yesterday, closed this morning, 9:32. That's what we like to see. We want to get in, get out. So everything's going according to plan. Those are the trades that we have open currently. And again, they'll close automatically. We're automating this, obviously, through Option Omega. And so we just let them ride, let them lie, as they say. Now, we have had trades closed. The last 7 days, we are down $81 on the account. If you're new to trading in general, we're going to talk about this. This is actually best case scenario for what we're trying to accomplish. And I'll explain why here in a second. But we are down $81. And these are the trades that we have opened and closed. The Tesla has opened 4 times, including today or yesterday, and it has not won yet. But no fear. We talked about it, and we have it in the playlist, optionomega.com/small account challenge. Sign up for the research. We'll show you when we'd stop trading that, but that's well in the means of historical losses. So we're not scared of that at all. We're completely fine with that. The SPX 5-wide put spread. I want to talk about this baby right here. And this is the one we're going to focus on a little bit today. Because if you're new and you're just jumping in, sometimes you have to prep yourself mentally a little bit. You have to get a little mental toughness. So let's look at this one. We opened this, and it immediately was a loser. And that's what a loser might be. It might be $330 to $350, maybe even $380. You're going to get a loser of that. It's a 5-wide put spread in SPX. We talked about last week, and we talk about this in the research a lot that you guys will have access to. Sign up, optionomega.com/small account challenge. This is the one that is going to feel really, really good and feel really, really bad for the size account that we've got. We got 5,000. Capital preservation is the most important thing as we do this. And so the first trade was a full loser. This trade will lose multiple times in a row. So we said last week that we would stop trading this if it loses 4 times in a row. That would be outside the historical average. So it has not lost 4 times in a row because we opened it the next time, Friday, January 9th, and it was a winner, $186 winner. We opened it Monday, January 12th, and it was a winner, $196. So we're actually up on that strategy. So if you jumped right in last week, you started automating these, and you thought, oh crap, what have they put me through? You don't have to trade any of this. In fact, we encourage you to do your own research and things like that, but this is what we're rolling with. So what do you do with that? Well, you have to let it play out. You have to let it keep playing. And that type of strategy in particular is one of those that absolutely, you can get really, really torn emotionally by. Because let's say you had that first loser there at the bottom, 329, right? And then you opened the next one Friday, it won. You're like, okay, I'm still down on the trade. I'm still pretty nervous about this strategy. And then Monday, we, I believe, gapped down overnight on the Jay Powell news, Trump versus Jay Powell. And we rallied up 30 to unchanged. And it was about that time at 11:15 that the research shows that's when you enter. And the conditions were right for it to enter. Now, if you're sitting here and you're trying to figure out, do I have the mental toughness for automation? That's a perfect example, because we open down. You think to yourself, your mind starts playing games. We're going to go down so much more. We're going to revert. We're going to close down on the day. Oh, crap, this thing just opened. I'm screwed. But this is why we trust data more than our own emotions, more than sometimes even the way we're reading a day-to-day market. We're not market readers on a day-to-day thing. We're researchers. And so we let the data play out, and it played out in our favor. So we're now up on that strategy. Monday brought us up on the strategy. So again, overall, down on the last 7 days, feel completely fine about it. We've put 7 on. We're letting the numbers play out over time. So you might think to yourself, well, that's not a great start. That's not a great start to the small account challenge. It's actually a great start to the small account challenge. Here's why. That 5-wide, first time it lost when you put it on, these are the type of things that when you trust the system, you're going to have losers. I was reviewing some of the small account challenge stuff across the internet, and it's interesting. These ardent pros who are going to lead you to greatness, they say things, the honest ones, they'll say, I had a down day the other day, but you know what it was? I just wasn't mentally focused. I wasn't mentally in the game, and that's why I lost. We don't play that game. If you're in options trading, if you're going to be a real boy or real girl, and you're going to trade for any given time, you have to learn to love to lose. You have to let the numbers play out. And the way you let the numbers play out, what that actually means is that you are letting the numbers play out. And what does that actually mean? It actually means that you're letting things lose. Because, there's two different types of people that can't let the numbers play out. The first side, they take stuff off immediately. As soon as it's down 5%, the back test says it could be down 25%. It doesn't feel right. I'm cutting it. Okay. Well, you're going to lose a lot more. And then you're going to get tired of that trade and you're going to be like, this never works. Well, what is it? It is no longer the back test. It is your market intuition. And you might be right about that. My market intuition never works, or it works just enough for me to be really dangerous with myself. The other side of it says they can't handle when they're winning. And so they take the winners off. And that too will destroy it, because your losers, you're going to full port your losers, but you're always going to be cutting winners much sooner than what they could actually accomplish. We're not going to do that. We're going to let the numbers play out and go from there. So just to review one more time, down on the week, we have 2, 3, 4, 6 trades. We've closed 6 trades. 2 have been winners, and we have 3 trades open right now. So we're going to look at one other thing, and then we'll talk a little bit more. So one of the things in the small account challenge is we really wanted to come up with strategies that have done well historically, that work together in a portfolio, and go from there. And part of that is, to the point of letting the numbers play out, you kind of have to run a portfolio. You can't just always be optimizing week over week, right? And so that's why we said ahead of time, we're going to have circuit breakers for each of these strategies to say when we would stop trading this. But there is situations sometimes where you find a test that has greatly improved on a strategy that you had. And we have one of those. Pause for cigar. I highly encourage you guys, if you're starting a cigar, I'm going to show this bad boy here. Look at that bad boy. Can you hurt yourself with that? Absolutely. Have I burnt myself to a crisp before doing that? Yes. Is it painful? Yes. Will it light the cigar? Yes. So returning to that, I want to show real quick one of the strategies that's in the portfolio. Again, you can go to optionmega.com/small account challenge, sign up for the research. You get access to the playlist. Playlist is not public. You got to go through there to see it. But we got a lot of stuff in there, and we'll be putting more stuff in there every week. So this is the current Apple 714 double calendar that we have on right now. And it's a 15 delta put and a 10 delta call. 7, you every Friday, you're selling the 7-day out, 15 delta put, 10 delta call, and you're buying 2 weeks out. That's a double calendar. So let's just look real quick what that looks like. Looks like a double calendar to me, right? And as we've talked about before, it really just depends on how vol's looking as to what that calendar is going to do, because double calendars are long Vegas strategies. But then our very own Denny, who does support at Option Omega, a master researcher himself, he actually put a test together that exceeded this. And we're going to do it. We're going to switch it out. So we will put the video out there. That video will be in the playlist when we do that. It'll probably be by Friday, because Friday will be the next time it's put on. I want to show you that test real quick. So this is the new Apple double calendar. And there's a couple main differences I want to talk about. A, the deltas have moved up. So we're doing 20 delta, same deltas on each side. We're doing 20 delta on the call, and we're doing 20 delta on the put. The big difference is that, and we're no longer doing 7/14. We're going to go 2 weeks out. So 7/21, 2 weeks out. This one is also going to have blackout days that do two things. We're not going to trade on shortened weeks. So we actually probably wouldn't open this Friday because next week is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So the market will be closed. Therefore, it's a 4-day week. Our research has shown that double calendars don't necessarily do well on those shortened weeks. So that's that. But then also, we're going to put in there Apple earning days. We're going to take out Apple earning dates, and we're going to take out Apple dividend dates. Why would that affect it? Well, dividends and equities, you can actually, it's a higher probability that you might get assigned, particularly on calls. And if you are short the call, a lot of times you have to pay the dividend. So, and your brokerage kind of does that automatically, but we don't want to play that game. So we're taking it out. So this will trade less, a couple times less over time than the other double calendar. But this is a superior test in the sense of MAR, in the sense of drawdown. And it actually goes really well with the portfolio. So again, shout out Romeo at Trade Blocks, looking through some portfolio analysis on top of the option Omega data and showing that it is, it works well. And so we'll put that in there. We'll add that to the, video series and go from there. Other than that, everything stays as it is. So just to recap, we've got 3 trades open right now that haven't closed. We have one that'll be assigned to the closed status at the end of the day. But currently we're down, I believe, $81 on the account. So any questions? This is going to be the way the show is going to work is we're going to show the data and things like that, and then talk through it, talk any questions you have, go from there. The research you can have access to, again, optionomega.com/small account challenge. So I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to smoke. We're hanging out. We'll be here till 4. So put the questions in the chat. I said this morning that I was drinking a bunch of Gatorade. People have asked, so I figured I might as well use this opportunity. I am a classic yellow Gatorade flavor kid. The blue is disgusting to me. The yellow is the only one you drink. So if that answers your question, I'm thankful for that. But other than that, happy to answer any other questions we got. And if not, because I'm drinking so much Gatorade, we'll call it. Perfect. Good question. How do we determine circuit breakers? We talk about this in the research. We looked at each strategy historically, and we looked, trying to figure out what's a rudimentary way that we can set a rule ahead of time. And the easiest way to do it is to say, has it lost more this run than it has historically? And that's how we're kind of doing it with each of the tests. So we look through and say, how many times did it lose? Some trades like the SPX5 wide is, it's lost 3 times max. Now it's done that a couple different times, but it's never lost 4 times in a row max. So if it loses 4 times in a row, we're just going to pause it. That's a way basically to preserve our capital and a chance for us to sit back and say, has something changed in the data? Because trades change, strategies change over time. So that's how we determine the circuit breakers. Mr. Flawless, at what point do we plan to size up the trades? Great question. Because capital preservation is so important, we're not going to get over happy with it. So basically the way we're going to do it is if you guys talk me into it, maybe at like 50%, I would consider it. But at 100%, if we make 100% on the account, which who knows, that would be crazy if we did. We, at that point, in my mind, we're considered playing with house money. And once we're playing with house money, we would start scaling up a little bit, being okay with being a little riskier with the assets. And so the nice thing about the portfolio we put together is most of them scale really well. You know, one of the things with sequence risk is you can you can hide stuff by just doing one contract, you know, by seeing what the drawdown, how painful it actually would have been. But all of these tests were tested with multiple allocations, and they all work pretty well. And so we're not necessarily afraid of that. In fact, personally, kind of looking forward to it if we can do it. But when you're starting out, especially with a small account, capital preservation is everything. That's why these small account challenges always have to reset, because they're starting with like $1,000, and they're like doing like a lot of times with equities or something like that. They're doing, you know, 500 shares of some $2 stock or something using margin or whatever, because sometimes equity brokers can get a little crazy with the margin. But if they lose, they're dead. And so we want capital preservation. We're trying to teach people, again, my philosophy on this is the discipline that you get from this trade isn't necessarily learning a bunch of awesome trades. We think these are fine trades. No doubt there's better trades that if you do your research, so you're in the option to make a community, you've probably found much better tests than these. But the point is to say, we want to learn to size well so that we can scale, because you'll never be able to scale if you're not sized well. You'll overscale, you'll have a massive drawdown, you'll start small again. So I rambled on that way, but that would be, if that answers your question. Steven, did you see the big candle at about 11:28 today? No, I did not. What was it, down or up? What was I doing at 11:28? I was drinking Gatorade. But I don't know if there was a news event or something like that. There's a lot of news events. I mean, that's the thing right now is we were talking about it earlier today. I mean, you got Iran. I mean, Trump's telling people to get out of Iran. You know, that's the fact that the market, you know, let's do a market check real quick. What are we at here? 20. Yeah. I mean, it's nothing. And so there's a lot of stuff coming, PPI, tariff stuff. So, I mean, it's a little shocking to me, honestly, that vol hasn't been baked in a little bit more. Joe Little, there was a comment this morning about keeping the original and the update backtest in separate portfolios. What you're thinking on that? I think it's a great idea. It's just too difficult. My little brain, there's just too much going on. And so the way I look at this is, you know, I'm trading this. It's my money. I'm trading it. But if you want to do a different one, do a different one. In fact, someone this morning said they are doing a different version of Apple already. That's awesome. That's perfect. I mean, this is not, we're trying to teach you how to use tools to make you better traders. We're not trying to force you to do our trades. So, you know, for clarity's sake, I'm just probably going to keep one account. And again, my goal is not to change it every week. In fact, if we were 4 weeks in, I might not have done that. But the fact that we're just 1 week in, and that was such a better trade, a well thought out trade. He did a lot of research on that. Shout out Denny. I thought it was a good idea, so we put it in there. Actually, it was 11:27. I still don't know what it was. I don't know. Was it down? Oh, 10 points down. Yeah. So flaws. We don't show the losing streak in the metrics currently, the like meta metrics. So you just have to do research. We just researched it, going through it and things like that. If there's not a canny request and you want that, definitely put it in canny, and we'll be up for consideration. So, yeah. So from there, we'll go. So let me recap real quick, and then we'll call it, and we will hopefully next week, you know, have some more winners and be able to talk, and I'll be able to start doing those thumbnails where it's like, this thing got 40%, you know, so I'm excited about that. That's all I want to do is just those pictures. This whole thing is so that I can do pictures, be like, this trade got 60%. So I'll be looking forward to that, and I hope you are as well. But just to recap, last 7 days, down 81 on 6 trades. We have 3 currently open. Our open trades right now are the SPY double calendar up 5% currently, Apple double calendar up 1.5%, the IWM double calendar up 23% currently. And most importantly, where can you find all this stuff? Go to optionomega.com/small account challenge. Put your email in there. We'll send you the research. We have a private YouTube playlist of hours of content at this point. So any plans for a $100,000 account? Never say never. We are talking about it, to be honest. So, but one thing at a time, small shop. And I know there's a lot more people than want to admit it that have less than 25,000 in the account. And a lot of people have messaged me over the last year asking for small account stuff. So we're trying to help those people as much as we can. And then, go from there. So any other questions before we wrap it up for today? Maybe this will be the one. That's always the hope. I don't know what this is or the one means, but I hope so. I love the idea that it would be the one. Joe Little, I'm going for it. So that's the point. We're going for it, and we're learning how to stay small and learn to love to lose. Because again, just to recap, I don't care if you have $1 million account. I don't have $100,000 account. You just have to learn to take losses. You have to learn to do it. And you can do it all day if you're sized right. If you're sized to where you don't care, then you let options do what they do best. They're leveraged products. So if you're sized small and you don't care for a loser, you can enjoy the winners. That's the thing of it. Any thoughts on an earnings trade? Maybe we might put something in as we go. Obviously, it's not going to have as much data, but definitely up for it. So who knows what it'll be. And let's talk about that for a second. We haven't talked about what would happen if a trade kind of got stopped out, circuit breaking it out, and we have to switch. Well, we've got other trades. So we've got plenty of research. It's just a question of how does it work well within the portfolio? And we will work together on that and come up with portfolios that are holistic if we do have to do that. Also, in relation to that, you have a trade, and like the SPX 5 wide, we've said it can be the biggest loser and the biggest winner to this portfolio by far, just because the sizing mechanic of it. It's SPX when everything else is SPY and Qs and IWM and Apple and Tesla. So if pattern day trader is removed, well, then it's a different animal, because we've got trades set up for Qs and SPYs that do very similar things to what that 5 wide EMA trade does, but they're sized appropriate to the account. And so I wait with joy the day that they remove pattern day trader or at least make it more reasonable for people. So with that being said, I'm going to go drink even more Gatorade. My goal for tonight, for those who are like, this guy is wild, I'll tell you how wild I am. My goal is to be asleep in the next 3 hours. So, and I am on Eastern time, so I'll let you do the math. That being said, we'll be putting more stuff out there. optionomega.com/small account challenge. Go sign up, get the research, start trading, start testing, start playing around with it, improve the trades. Can't wait for people to come back and be like, you idiot, look how I can get this at 10 MAR. Would love to get a 10 MAR trade in there. And I believe you guys are the group of people that can do it. So I'm going to sign off by playing the song over and over and over again for the next, I'll probably just play it 2 times in a row for you guys on the way out. So have a great day. We'll talk to you guys.
Yeah. Welcome to the lab. We're talking about that small account challenge, 5 large in the pocket, and a world of data. Small account challenge. Stay cool, small account challenge. No fools. Small account challenge. Watch it grow. Small account challenge. Keep it slow.
What kind of guy would just make a video about himself and just play it over and over and over again?
Yeah. Welcome to the lab. We're talking about that small account challenge, 5 large in the pocket, and a world of data. Small account challenge. Stay cool. Small account challenge. No fools. Small account challenge. Watch it grow. Small account challenge. Keep it slow.